welcome back to the channel. My name is Katrina and today I'm going to share with you a 6-month update on my big boy here, Lincoln. So it's been a while, you guys, and it's just been the best 6 months that I could ask for. Actually, technically 7. He turned 7 months yesterday. Now, Lincoln here is the youngest of my 4 kids, obviously. And the cool part is that he has 3 older sisters. If you didn't know that, he is the only boy in our family, which I think adds to the uniqueness of the position in his family. And we joke a lot, my husband and I, about what kind of life this little guy is going to have with 3 older sisters. And it's kind of cool because the other day we were out and I met a gentleman. He was admiring my little guy and my daughter, and he said, oh, you know, asking questions. And then I went on to tell him, well, I have 2 more daughters. They're out skiing right now. And, you know, and he just said, oh, that's fascinating because I'm the youngest of 4 siblings and I have 3 older sisters. And I think I turned out half okay. So that was really sweet of him to say, and encouraging to see that, you know, some little guys can survive having an all-female house, and you know, they just are better for it, I'm sure, in many ways. So at this point, he is, like I always say this about him, but it's so true, is he is the most happiest little person. I really got blessed this time with having such a happy baby. I know with my beautiful girls, they were just very different in their temperament. My oldest was probably the most, I would say, relaxed, but the other 2 girls were a little bit more high strung. They often really just needed me and only me all the time. And as flattering as that is, it can be really difficult when, you know, let's say a grandma or a friend wants to hold them and they just don't want to go to anybody else but me. So it's different this time because Lincoln is just very content. He is such a charmer. If we go anywhere, he's just smiling up a storm at strangers. And you know, quite often I joke and say things like, he could just go home with you. Like he's just very content and very, very happy. And that is a true gift to a larger family like ours. The fact that I can put him down and walk away and he can be self-soothed or entertained is just amazing. So some quick facts about this guy. He is sort of sitting right now. He's definitely mobile in terms of pulling himself around on his tummy. So I can see that he's often getting into that crawling position where he's getting his legs up and he's getting excited and he's trying to launch forward, and you know, those things come with little bumps and bruises in terms of him sort of getting frustrated and falling and hitting his chin, and oh, you know, that sort of stage is coming. So he's very, very excited to be mobile. He really, really wants to get around. He's just getting heavy, you guys. Like, I don't know if it picks up on camera, but like, this guy is huge. Like, he's wearing a suit that's 9 to 12 months and he's only 7 months, and I'm just not used to that. My girls were tiny. They were wearing like 6-month clothing for like almost a year. So it's just a totally different experience, and I don't know whether it's having a son or whether it's just the fact that he's a bigger person, or maybe more average than I'm used to. I have like nothing in here to entertain you. He's definitely not sleeping. I know that's always the common question for people is, you know, how's he sleeping and whatnot, and oh, he's 6 months now, you know, half a year, he should be sleeping. Well, that's definitely not the case for us. And if you are a mother out there and you are, you know, living on coffee fumes, you are not alone, sister. I am there with you. And I am very programmed to be in this zone. Let's just say that since having my first child, which is almost 8 years ago now, I've gotten used to the idea that children just don't really sleep very well in the first year of their life. And so even with him, I haven't done anything really different in terms of sleep arrangements. He still sleeps in his little bassinet. You might be able to see that in the camera here. I'm supposed to be getting a crib delivered this week, hopefully, and he'll be out of his little bassinet because he's just getting too long, guys. Like, this guy, he's got like the longest legs and arms. So are you getting fussy? So, you know, it's getting tight. So he'll be in his crib and he'll be in here with us. because of the size of our house, we just end up having our babies in our room for quite some time. And plus, I nurse on demand, so I don't really want to walk down the hallway to go and retrieve him when I can just grab him from our room. He really does tend to nurse a lot at night. I would say at least every 2 to 3 hours. So I'm up a lot and it's kind of crazy. The way I just said "so" definitely made me sound Canadian, I just realized. I always wonder how people know that whether I'm Canadian or not, and just the way I said "so," that is like a Canadian giveaway. Anyways, I find that I'm just sort of coasting along when it comes to sleep. I am just sort of stubborn. I don't really believe in sleep training. I know that's taboo to say in this sort of generation, but I just think, you know, like every child is different. Every child's needs are different. Babies are programmed to wake up because they need something, whether it's nourishment, whether it's comfort. Quite often babies go through a lot of growth stages and they're feeding more. I just kind of give into that. You know, I feel like it's my responsibility. You know, I can handle having a bit of sleeplessness in order to help in his growth and aid in his social emotional development. I really just prioritize my kids' needs over my own, which can sometimes get me into trouble. And, you know, I'm usually the last one out the door ready. I'm usually looking like a bit of a mess. And, you know, I definitely prioritize myself last quite often. And that's probably my biggest challenge. But I know that we will push through this. I know that this stage is so temporary and it's so fleeting. And so I look at it as a sacrifice now that in order to have a healthier child in the future. I will never look back on my life and regret how much I held my babies, how much I had that close time with them. The fact that I've been able to stay home with my children is like the biggest gift in the world that my husband has given us and our family, and so I don't want to take that for granted. So yes, I do complain about being tired. Yes, it does affect a lot of things in my life, but you know, I'm tough and so are you, and we will get through it. Now, he definitely is sort of vocal. I can see that he really wants to talk. He often sort of coos and chats it up with me especially when I'm changing him, but with his sisters as well. He seems to have these special connections where sometimes he's even like, you know, my youngest will be screaming and he'll start screaming back, and they'll just have this like back and forth screaming contest, which is hilarious and also somewhat draining. But yeah, they have sort of a connection, which is really special and sweet to watch, and I just love seeing that. The thing about Lincoln that's been hard and interesting is that he's just blasted through the baby stage. I just feel like it's going by so quickly, and a lot of you mothers that have more than one kid know that it just speeds up. Every baby that you have, it gets faster and faster. And it's also because you're dividing your time between your other kids. You know, that's just life. You're so busy, you're caught up in, you know, your other children and what they're doing. And so, you know, meanwhile, these little ones are just growing like weeds and changing all the time. And all of a sudden you look over and it's like they look different. You know, 24 hours could go by and you look at them and you think, you look different. You're doing different things now. You know, you're interacting with that toy completely differently, or, you know, all these sort of things. So it's pretty wild, and it's hard and it's wonderful all at the same time. One quirk that I've found with having Mr. Lincoln, we were sort of on the fence of whether we wanted to have a fourth. Now that I've had him, oh my goodness, has he ever given me baby fever. And I hate putting that out in the universe in some ways, because we really have made the decision that 4 is gonna be our stopping point. But I can't help but think about how often I wanna be pregnant again, or how often I wanna add another little one. And you know, it's just been a real sort of emotional struggle for me in many ways. And I think part of it is just because I've been doing this for so long, and it's so normal for us to be anticipating within the next year adding another little one to our family. And maybe it's biology too. When you're in a zone of having children, you quite often want to, you know, expand and keep going. Sorry guys, he got hungry. I don't know, you get to the 4th kid and it's like, yeah, I could picture another one, I could picture another one. And then I also think to myself, you know, pregnancy is not an easy ride. It's a beautiful, miraculous journey, but it's also really hard and tiring and not easy at all. And so I try to use that to sort of ground me and remind me that it's not just, you know, a walk in the park to get pregnant and then have a child and add them to your family unit. So I think, you know, it's gonna be something that's gonna take time for me. I'm just gonna have to really sort of wrap my brain around the fact that I have 4 beautiful children here, and I'm grateful for that. And so far they've been really healthy and they're thriving, and I just need to focus on that and be grateful for that. Well, that might be the end of this video for us. Hopefully I updated you guys on how we're doing. I wish you guys the very best holiday season. Merry Christmas, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.